But right now, two of my friends are coming, and in the meanwhile, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a background on how we got here today. So last year, May 15, 2010, and my dad's here, he's going to be like, oh God. I was living in London, and both of my friends, they came up to visit me just a weekend out, and we went out to Wonder Sushi. What happened from there, they were talking about NBA playoffs, and they were talking about, they always bet, and these guys, I have my one friend's brother here, they always bet, they always compete, they're always trying to find out who the better athlete is, they're always going after each other, even over little things, they'll, from, I don't know, just like schoolyard boyish background kind of stuff. But anyways, talking about NBA playoffs, and they're making their bets, and they bet money, and one of them goes, so how come you never bet us, right? And I'm like, well, I don't want to lose my money, what's the point? And stuff. So they look at each other, and then they just said, all right, well, how about you bet us this once, and we'll never bother you again. So I'm sitting there and thinking, I'm like, okay, what, well, I'm not going to bet you over basketball if we do hockey, that's cool, and stuff. And then they said, okay, well, one sec. And they go sit over at another table. And they're coming up with all this stuff, and I see the grins on their faces. And for the friends that know them, they know, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. They come back over, and they're like, all right, we're ready, and stuff. And I might impersonate some of them, but I'm like, all right, well, what do I have to do? And they're like, nope, you have to agree to it first. And I'm like, agree to what? And they're like, agree to it once, and you'll never, or we'll never have to bother you again. So anyways, I'm like, oh God, all right, what do you got for me? And stuff. And they're like, all right, when you come back home to Windsor, when we say who, what, where, when, what, or who, what, when, where, how, you have to find a way to kiss a waitress for 10 seconds on the spot without breaking the lip seal. All right, come on in, Tiff. So anyways, I think that Stixxs and Marco might be here. Nope, not yet. Yeah. So anyways, what ended up happening, came down like a week or two later. My one friend, he plays for the Montreal Alouettes. He had a football camp here, and we were helping out. And actually, I apologize, backing up to that. The terms of the bet were this. Okay, so now that I agreed, they thought I would never be able to do it. They said, all right, if you win, we'll give you a ticket to Iron Man 2 with popcorn, popping candy, a meal of your choice anywhere you want to eat, no limit. A Blu-ray of your choice, a PlayStation 3 game of your choice, $200, and I will let Stixxs slap me, the other guy's name was Marco, I'll let Stixxs slap me in the face in public anywhere you want. So a couple days later, I was kind of already sold on that one part, and I see my dad's like, oh God. But for all my friends that know these two guys, they're like, oh, it just, oh, here comes one of the guests of honor, Yin Tran, aka Stixxs. So I'll just tell you the story. Yeah. What ended up happening was I would get all that stuff, and if I lost, I just had to get them a ticket to Iron Man 2 with popcorn, pop, and candy. So what ends up happening, we end up going to the restaurant, and actually Stixxs was there, and we're kind of nervous. And what ends up happening, pardon me, I'm like, oh my God, what happens if, you know, the manager says something? What happens if this happens? And stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, I was actually really nervous. So then Stixxs is like, come on, yeah, do it, yeah. And stuff. So anyways, I see the waitress, and I'm like, do you mind if I just talk to you outside after we're done eating? And she's like, okay. So what ends up happening, we get outside, and there's Stixxs here with like some other friends like semicircled around me and stuff. And she's looking, so kind of like, what's going on? And then I'm like, this is bad. But I was like, do you know why tonight's special? And she's like, no, why is tonight special? And I'm like, well, the guys have known you for what, 10 years since like university. You've always been good to us. You've been so nice. You've been so kind. We just want to give you a big hug from all of us, from me, from all of us to you, to say thanks, right? And she's like, oh, really? And stuff. So anyways, and he was there. He was a witness. So I was about to hug, and then I'm like, oh, wait. In my culture, it's good luck if you give someone a kiss. So I was thinking maybe a kiss for a second for every year, so maybe 10 seconds. And then she was like, okay. So what ends up happening, kind of go in and give her a kiss, and then it was like kiss, and then she pulls away. I'm like, no, bad luck. So then and I go back in again, and then she's like, okay. So then we kiss, and then I'm like counting my head, 1, 2, and then like Stixxs is there, and all you hear in the background is that's how he laughs, exactly. So anyways, it was like 9, 10, break, right? So she's like blushing. She's like, thank you so much for being nice and stuff. She goes back in the restaurant. So I look, Stixxs was right here. I look over, I'm like, yeah, beat you, right? And he's like, right? And then he's like, no girl's gonna ever kiss you again, no girl's gonna ever kiss you again. So anyways, there was another girl that was with us, and I didn't plan it this way. I just said, oh, do you think I'll ever kiss a girl again? And she just comes up, kisses me on the lips. I'm like, Stixxs, I beat you twice. So then what ends up happening, I get all that stuff, and then I was listening to 89X, and I hear a radio ad in the background. There's Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. And then I'm like, oh, I haven't played that game in like 20 years. So from there, I go on Kijiji, and from the money I got, I bought some Nintendo stuff. And I started playing it, and then I was kind of on a nostalgia kick. So then I was like, oh, I have to play Super Mario and all these old games we had when we were kids. So I ended up going to get more from that money that they gave us. And then eventually I got doubles. So then I'm like, oh, I have doubles, and maybe let's go back on Kijiji and trade them. So I started to like trade them, and then I started to like sell them, and then I started to like learn the market value of stuff. So then I started to like buy, sell, trade. And then my collection would start to grow. So basically, and it's just applying business stuff, but I would look at a lot on Kijiji. I'd see what the value of stuff was, because I knew the market value of individual stuff. So I'd buy it for a reduced price, pull out the stuff I wanted, sell the stuff back for a profit on eBay and stuff, and then I was starting to like build a ridiculous collection. So what ended up happening was I built a collection of over 30, like if some of my other cousins that are back there have seen it, over 30 systems, over 3,000 games. And it's, I promise you, it's not like I sit there every day with Code Red and I just sit there and play. Like I just got into a hobby of like collecting this stuff, and I honestly, I had every video game system, and almost very well, like a lot of video games for every system. So what ends up happening, New Year's comes around this year, and I thought, oh, well, now my system is just, all these video games are just taking up our basement. Now it's just a hoarding mess, right? And then I knew I was gonna sell them, because I'm not gonna like play video games forever and stuff. So I was actually gonna plan like sell everything, and then go first class all the way to the London 2012 Olympics and stuff. So then I was actually going to think about writing a book called, sorry Stixxs, called Stixxs Misfortune, The Road to 2012 Olympics. And stuff, and then show people on how to make their own game collections, because I knew out there's people that do this kind of stuff. So what ends up happening, I was going to do that in the fall, and then I moved that up to May, because the 1-year anniversary is coming, and I wanted to do something. So what ends up happening, I ended up selling stuff. I did a little bit, but then with work we had a little bit of an event, so I kind of slowed down. And then in the lead up, I made about $3,550. And then from there, I was like, oh, I have to meet this 1-year anniversary deadline. So I ended up selling, like just doing a big campaign, liquidating the entire thing. And my goal was $10,000, and then a week before the 1-year anniversary, I passed that $10,000. So what I am doing with that goal, and some of the people I work with and some of the volunteers I have are here, ended up donating $1,660 back to charity. Gave my parents, well actually my dad's like going to hear it now, but they're going to have an all expense paid trip in the very near future, and then my dad gets some flowers for his garden. What else is there? With the money, there's a lot more stuff I did than just that, but with the 10,000, I haven't decided yet if I'll go to the Olympics, but anyways, did some stuff, gave some stuff back to the community, have some other ideas. One of the ideas is maybe doing something with that 10,000 for the community. I gotta decide on that. But just want to do something for like a bunch of friends and stuff. So I want to do something ridiculous. So coming up to the May 15, made a video, and my friend Irvin, where is he? He's here. Irvin, we made this video, and I was gonna unveil how much was made. And then I thought, oh, but then I'll never get to see the look on Stixxs' face. And then, so we had to do something original, something different. And that's how you're here today. So we just got a movie theater, watched Hangover 2. What better movie could you have to like have your friends at? And plus with my two friends, Stixxs and Marco's on his way, or maybe that's him right there. You know, to have like a movie that's kind of cheesy and kind of a ridiculous story that someday, you know, it'll be a funny story. But I didn't want them to think I was like gonna hoard all the money and keep it for myself. So what I did was I actually decided to give them everything that if I lost, I would have to give them. So the first thing, and Stixxs, you're gonna come on up here and receive your gifts. Yeah. And Marco, since Marco's in here, he'll just have to wait. But if I lost, I would have to give them a ticket to Iron Man 2 with popcorn popping candy. So Stixxs, I'm pleased to present you with a Blu-ray Iron Man 2. Good job. I got more for you. Iron Man 2 with popcorn, a box of organ blockers. Yes. Pop.
Thank you.
I can't drink this, but yeah, I got it. Yeah. Fried food for you. And then, oh yeah, and candy.
All right, thanks.
Oh, there's more. I'm not done with you. So on top of that, and actually I found out more from his girlfriend Fong. The first date that Stixxs took his girlfriend on was to Fong's villa.
Didn't go yet.
And then he calls her Fong's villa. So I thought, take her back on a first date, and then don't call her Fong's villa. So here's a gift certificate for you and Fong to Fong's villa. Yeah. So then, don't worry, we'll put this back and we'll put it away after. But since Marco's not here, you must receive his extra gift. So Marco got all that stuff too. And here's the bad joke, okay? And Marco, when he comes in, you guys are gonna be like, okay, Marco is a really nice guy. He's been our friend for a long time and stuff. He's, just to put it simply, like he has a really good personality, but he's a prima donna soccer player, okay? So he irons his Joe boxers. And then one of the things, the joke was that maybe he burned a hole in his Joe boxers. So I was gonna give him a brand new box of Joe boxers. Yeah.
Thanks, Jeremy.
So anyways, I got one more. Before we bring in the check and do the unveiling, actually, if you wanna give me that for a sec.
Sure.
Yeah. And then, what do you call it? Okay. Well, I'll put this away for you, and don't worry, you'll get it back. Don't worry, Bob. You'll get it back.
All right.
But since Marco's not here, you must do the gift for you both and stuff. And then we'll bring out the unveiling. So you gotta open this. What is it, Stixxs? You want to read it?
Stixxs Misfortune, paid to the order of Jeremy Renaud, $14,157.
Yeah.
You want to get this?
I'm going to shoot you again later. Yeah. So pass that around, you can take a look. But, so then anyways, yeah, so we got the movie theater, we got friends and stuff, and we have an after party. We got an after party here, or after party, sorry, at White Star, for those that can come. And then there'll be free wine at 10, and some other stuff. But yeah, so that was the whole story. And thanks for coming out. I hope you enjoy, I was going to say Iron Man 2. Hope you enjoy Hangover 2 in a second. What? What are you slaps? What are you talking about?
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
What are you talking about? All right, so the movie will start soon, but when Marco comes, you guys can point Marco out. No problem. You're the best, Stixxs. Oh, I forgot. One thing I promised myself, this was the first time I ever bet them. So I've signed a agreement with myself, a lifetime agreement, never to bet anyone again. So I'm going to retire a champ, and since I'm retiring a champ, Stixxs, I'm pleased to present you with the championship belt. Yeah, the spinner belt.
Is this mine?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry, there's more tricks to come. Oh, do you want to this? Roll the